among LeBron's best teammates. And Shams is here with when we could see Luka and AD for the first time on their new teams.
Plus, why the Chiefs have Super Bowl prep down to a very boring science. We have live reports ahead, but we're going to kick it off with breaking news in the NFL, and that is the defensive end Myles Garrett, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, announced he wants a trade from the Cleveland Browns. He said, quote, "While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages will not allow me to be complacent." General Manager Andrew Berry said as recently as last week that he won't trade Garrett. And here is why. Since individual sacks became official in 1982, there are only 2 players to record more sacks than Garrett before turning the age of 30. His 30th birthday is not until late December, meaning that Myles Garrett has nearly all of next season to get the 6 sacks he needs to pass the great Reggie White. And here with all the latest is senior NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler. What more can you tell us about Myles Garrett wanting out of Cleveland?
Yeah, Hannah, I've been checking with sources close to this situation. I'm told that Myles Garrett is not making any sort of contract ploy here, that his words are genuine. He simply wants to win and feels that he cannot do so in Cleveland. I even asked a source if the Browns are aggressive this offseason in improving the roster, could that change his mind? And I was told no. So something has to give here because the Browns and the source there told me that they have no plans to trade him. Nothing has changed on that front. They're very clear on that. And they have no problem paying him. So that was never an issue. They know he's a generational type player. And so this could certainly drag out. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But there are no teams involved yet. It's too early for that. But the Browns were not blitzed by this situation. They knew ahead of time that this is where he stood before it got released to the public.
Man, 8 seasons, only 3 playoff games, and 1 win for Myles Garrett. Now, back to what happened a couple of years ago, because this is a big picture here, and that's signing Deshaun Watson. That record-setting deal was supposed to be the turning point of the Browns franchise. As you know, the opposite has happened. Since he joined the team, Cleveland has had the league's lowest completion percentage and committed the most turnovers as well. And they have wasted a very good defense anchored by Myles Garrett over that stretch, allowing the 5th fewest yards per game. And we have word, obviously, that he is going to miss a significant amount of time next season with re-injuring that Achilles. So how does the Myles Garrett trade demand figure into their quest for a quarterback?
Yeah, Hannah, my sense is this changes nothing because the Browns were going to scour the earth for quarterback help. The pressure is on GM Andrew Berry, head coach Kevin Stefanski, coming off 3 wins to rebuild this team and get more improvement. They have to do so in a hurry. They feel like this is not a tanking situation or a full rebuild. They have enough talent to get it going with adding some new pieces. So they'll look hard in the draft at Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, the top 2 quarterbacks. And I'm told they're going to firmly evaluate any quarterback on the veteran market with starters experience. So you're talking anybody from Kirk Cousins if he's available, Aaron Rodgers maybe. We'll see what happens there. Sam Darnold, I'm told, probably is a little too rich for this team based on what they've already allocated for Deshaun Watson with that guaranteed money. But really everybody else they're going to look at and give a chance to here.
But without Myles Garrett being on the table. At least for now.
At least for now. As far as we know, they have no plans to trade Myles Garrett, but as we know, it's a long offseason.
All right. We'll stay tuned. Jeremy, thanks. Hey, let's go over to our expert, the coach, for more there, Herman J.
Yeah, coach knows everything. They scour the earth for a quarterback. I like that, Jeremy. I like that. Okay, Herm, what's the best option for the Browns as they try to upgrade a quarterback?
Jeremy mentioned it. He said he was expensive, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
This team won 11 games last year with a quarterback that they had acquired, an older quarterback, Joe Flacco. So they have done this before. They've seen this movie before. They have a good roster. Defensively, they were one of the top 10 defenses in the league last year. They have enough pieces. If they could get a quarterback in place to give them some stability, this team could challenge in this division.
Well, Jeremy thinks the money's might not work.
Don't worry about the money.
Don't worry about
got a lot of money.
You make it happen?
Owners have money.
They can make it happen.
Can't work. See, because you want to make your fan base feel like we're trying.
Okay.
Fan bases don't care about money.
That's
Who
true.
did you get?
That's true, because they want to win. Darnold, by the way, coming off a career year, throwing for over 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns. Not bad. Herm, thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you in a bit. All right, so let the countdown begin. Super Bowl 59, Eagles and Chiefs just 6 days away. Both teams in New Orleans and practicing ahead of their rematch of 2 years ago. KC won that one, and this won't come as a surprise if you know the Chiefs, with a late rally led by Patrick Mahomes. All right, today, Commissioner Roger Goodell giving his State of the Game address, among other things, talking about electronic first downs. The topic is hot again after Josh Allen was denied a key first down against the Chiefs in the AFC title game. The NFL has been testing a system for a couple of seasons, even considering implementing it this year. Here is Goodell, new on SportsCenter.
We tested, I think, in the preseason this past year on being able to use that technology. It is complicated. Obviously, you have a lot of humanity that interferes potentially with some of that, at least from a camera angle standpoint. But you also have a shape of the ball that is different, and it's about where the ball is, not where the individual is necessarily. So there are a combination of factors are there, but I do think that technology will exist sometime in the future. But you really need to test it, make sure your data is right, and then implement it when you think you have it right.
On the scene at the Super Bowl in New Orleans is Sal Paolantonio. Sal, lots discussed today. What did Commissioner Goodell say about the possibility of an 18-game schedule in the near future?
Well, Commissioner Goodell said, Jay, that no formal negotiations have begun with the NFL Players Association, but after the press conference, I had a chance to talk to a senior league official to get some perspective and context on the 18-game schedule. And here's what we learned. Bottom line, it is going to happen sometime in the near future, 2 or 3 years down the road. The first thing that has to happen is formal negotiations opened up with the NFLPA. The league wants to get out of the business of 3 preseason games and get down to 2 and add a regular season game to 18. And they will also have to talk with broadcast partners because there'll have to be some negotiations there in terms of what kind of compensation will come from the networks once they go to an 18-game schedule. But the bottom line is that the league is very concerned about the health and safety of the players if they go to an 18-game schedule. They want to make sure that the Players Association is on board with that. Remember, concussions were down this year 17% year over year. That's all preseason games, all regular season games, and practices. Concussions down 17%. So the league is moving in the direction of health and safety for these players, knowing that an 18-game schedule is inevitable.
All right, so by the way, NFL expanded to a 17-game regular season back in 2021. Hannah?
That's a lot of football. And Sal, for many of those games, obviously you have covered the Philadelphia Eagles, as you will be all week for us here at ESPN. So how did they spend their day?
Well, it was a very light day for the Eagles. The Eagles took buses from their team hotel downtown here and went over to the Saints practice facility and had a team weightlifting session. And that lasted pretty much all morning. Then back to the team hotel for team meetings and to get ready for opening night. We're about 4,500 members of the media. They're good friends in the media. I'll be one of them. Jeff Darlington will be here, of course. We'll ask a bunch of questions, find out what's going on. It's going to be a rowdy time, I'm sure. We'll enjoy it, though. We'll get some fun moments out of them.
Oh yeah, it's always crazy, and we definitely expect to hear a question or two from you, Sal, for sure. So have fun at media night, you and Jeff, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right.
All right, when Patrick Mahomes takes the field on Sunday, he has a chance to break a tie with Joe Montana for the second most Super Bowl MVPs all time. The only player to win the award more often is, of course, Tom Brady, who won 5 overall, 4 in New England, and 1 with Tampa Bay. The aforementioned Jeff Darlington, also in New Orleans, covering the Chiefs. Jeff, how are Patrick Mahomes and the team approaching their 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance?
Well, Jay, it's this interesting line that they're trying to walk right now. The idea of making sure that they aren't complacent, but also understanding that the idea of consistency and routine is important to a team that's making their 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance. And I was talking to somebody within the organization who actually made a pretty funny point. I was like, what's different this time around? And he goes, I'm trying to think of anything different, and there just isn't anything. We are boring, and this is just routine at this point. So that's really where the Chiefs are. They've been there, done that. that, and I think that they're trying to embrace that to some capacity without, of course, getting complacent. So how do they avoid complacency? Well, I can tell you that Patrick Mahomes said Andy Reid is simply making sure that guys understand it is still a one-day-at-a-time mentality. They don't talk about the idea of a three-peat. They don't talk about the history that they potentially could make. They're going to save that for the potential of a win. For now, it is about planning, something they did today on the practice field with a light workout, and then we'll see these Chiefs players shortly here taking the podium here at welcome night for the Super Bowl.
Jeff Darlington covering the Chiefs in New Orleans. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Hannah?
Jay grabbing a lot of the headlines this week, just over 24 hours after Shams Charania broke the news. Luka Doncic arriving in L.A. after being traded for Anthony Davis, the 25-year-old, traded to the Lakers, as you know, just after midnight on Saturday. Max Christie and a 2029 first-round pick also in there. And, well, Luka has a message for Lakers fans.
What's up, Lakers fans? I'm in L.A. Excited to meet you all.
All right, short and sweet, as he has not played since Christmas. And Shams, it's great to have you here in studio. I hope you've gotten at least a little bit of sleep. Yeah.
just a little bit.
By the way, everything he says is true. All right, no, we had to verify all of that.
This is fun week. This is a fun week in the NBA and sports.
Yeah, we're racing towards this trade deadline. Already such big news. But when can we expect to see Luka and AD on the court?
So I'm told. So Luka Doncic got to LA. I'm told he underwent a physical exam today in Los Angeles, and there is optimism that he's going to be able to make his Lakers debut on Saturday against Indiana. The Lakers have 5 games before the All-Star break. That was Luka Doncic's goal, to return before the All-Star break, even before this trade to LA. On the other hand, though, Anthony Davis, I will say this, he will be reevaluated this week. He's listed questionable to play tomorrow night against Philadelphia. I'm told he is progressing really well. He will meet the team on this current road trip in Philadelphia, and then they play Boston on Thursday.
Ooh, so he could be back for the Boston game too. That would be a big one, big litmus test. Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be a while before they can everybody work all the pieces in, but getting a jump on it before the All-Star break, that's good news.
Okay, we had the big trade over the weekend. What else you looking at, cooking up, I don't know, covering before the deadline?
When you look at the Lakers, they made their seismic trade here with the Luka Doncic pickup. That was a massive deal, obviously, in NBA circles. Sources with the knowledge of the Lakers situation tell me that they're looking at more deals around the margins of this roster. They've made their big deals. Expect bigger moves for the Lakers, though, in the offseason as they get a wider pool of potential options.
There's so much going on out west. Such a great race. So much competition right now. And I know the Lakers are looking for home court. Let's talk about the Warriors. Listen, you've been reporting all season long. They've been looking for a star to join Steph. What's the latest?
Hannah, Jay, the Warriors are continuing to canvass the league, trying to find a star player that they can bring in to pair with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. They're making these calls ahead of the February 6th, Thursday, NBA trade deadline. And, you know, will it be Jimmy Butler? What player can they go find? They have engaged in conversations, I'm told, with the Heat around Jimmy Butler. Another player to keep an eye on as well, Chicago Bulls center Nikola Vucevic. They have shown interest in him as well as a center option. Steve Kerr's been playing Quentin Post, who's on a 2-way contract at the starting center in recent games. Vucevic would be a good addition at center.
Yeah, but Butler seems just so focused on Phoenix that's the only place he wants to stay long.
He's locked in on Phoenix. The Suns are locked in on any star they can get.
Right, okay, there you go. Should be fun. Still a lot of intrigue out there. You mentioned the trade deadline. The special is Thursday, starting at 1. And for more on Luka heading to L.A., Tony and Mike have tonight's PTI bonus topic.
All right, Wilbon, where could Luka rank among LeBron's best teammates?
He could rank 1 at some point, but he ain't gonna rank there today. Not with me,
right?
Because there's a guy on that list already who ranks really fairly close to LeBron. Because without him, LeBron doesn't. I don't know where LeBron goes to get his first 2 championships. That would be Dwayne Wade. Mm-hmm. So if I did an all LeBron teammate team, this would be the, and by the way, I'm setting aside Shaq as the captain. Shaq was not Shaq anymore, but it's Shaq, so you got to honor Shaq. All right, now, of the guys on that team, Wade, Kyrie's at point guard, Ray Allen just designated shooter because Ray Allen saved the bacon one
That's
year.
Right.
Otherwise,
That's
there's
right.
no Miami championship first. Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh. And I know I apologize to Kevin Love and others. J.R. Smith, my personal favorite, maybe. Tristan Thompson, Mo Williams, Boobie Gibson. Rondo, I don't want to leave out Rondo and Dwight Howard. Those are Hall of Famers as far as I think they will both be Hall of Famers.
I don't know.
What about you?
I sort of feel that the question is unfair in this regard. LeBron James is 40 years old now. He's got this year, maybe he's got next year, maybe he wants to go 2 more, I don't know. But his skills necessarily will diminish because he's 40, then 41, and 42.
Not on offense.
Luka Doncic may well be, by then, the greatest basketball player in the entire world. But them being teammates isn't going to mean as much because it's not a 5-year run. It's not an 8-year run. It's not something where you would look at Bird and Parrish and McKay. It's not that. So there's a certain unfair quality to it. I do think that at the moment, Luka Doncic is the only player that LeBron has played with who would be, as a contemporary, as good or better than LeBron James. I don't think any of those other people you mentioned were as good or better than LeBron James.
No, in terms of individual accolades and stats and longevity, Dwayne Wade had a championship before LeBron James got there. People forget that.
But LeBron had championships after Dwayne Wade, so that works itself out.
It does, and I'm not going to. LeBron is higher in the pecking order than Dwayne Wade. I just want people to acknowledge, okay, that when LeBron needed the guy with the advanced degree, he didn't go to New York to take his talents to Manhattan. He took him to South Beach, where Dwayne Wade lived and helped him get there.
And Chris Bosh.
Just saying.
And
Chris Bosh.
And Chris Bosh.
Absolutely. That's it. We're done. Back to you.
Still to come on SportsCenter. Which Eagles defender has the best chance to disrupt Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense? Plus, how Myles Garrett's trade request could change the course of the upcoming draft. And Brian Windhorst delivers more details on the Mavs' shocking decision to